used to be kids. Now we're not. Something happened in between. This is the Broken Youth Club.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm a little tired. I feel really exhausted still, just chronically exhausted, but hanging in there. I feel like treading water would be an adjective I'd use. Is that an adjective? Is that right? Yeah? No, that's a verb. What is treading water?
Maybe just a saying?
Saying.
Oh.
Whatever. I'm doing all right. I am feeling spacey, just in general, like catching myself wandering.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's been hard to fully enjoy anytime we sit down to like watch a movie or go on a walk or even go to the, like, you know, Costco or whatever. Not as bad as it's been before, but it's kind of a medium, just gray, but doing all right.
Yeah, I can tell. I feel like I keep asking you, like, hey, you good? Or I just feel like there's this general, like, apathy from you. Where it's like, it doesn't really seem like you're necessarily enjoying anything.
Yeah.
But when I ask you if you're okay, it feels like there's not an immediate, like, I'm upset about this thing or I'm thinking a lot about this thing. It's just also a very flat, like, okay.
I'm not trying to be, you know, I'm also trying to be present, like with the kids. We did the Easter egg hunt, which was really fun this weekend. We have the bouncy house back out again. I don't mind getting out there and playing with them in that. We have the tent upstairs, you know, the more intentional moments. We had a movie night last night with Oliver. All those things. And I am trying, and I feel like I'm more successful now than I have been in the past when I have felt a similar vein. It's just like, I don't know. Sometimes it's like going really well for you and mentally, and then sometimes it's not. And I feel like I'm in a transition period of like, it's not bad, but it's not great either. It's like my own mind is trying to figure out what it wants to settle on. Like, hey, what's this next chapter going to feel like? And it doesn't even know yet. Or I will catch myself finding these little moments of joy where I'll have a little pep back where I'll have, you round a corner a little extra fun, you know what I mean? Or you do a full 180 when you turn a corner, just like little things like that always, I feel like, are a characteristic of me, you know, like the Zoolander thing, like you can only turn left. Like I've always had those little like quirky things, and I'm always tapping and beating around. And I'll find myself getting into a mood where like I'm okay to do that, or just naturally doing that again. But I have this, I'm sure there's a medical term for it, but I feel like I've suffered from this from a very young age. Remind me, Lion King is my keyword to get back into what a next point I want to make about it. But yeah, as soon as I even sense that I'm getting there's something in my brain that's like, hey, I don't think you're ready for that yet. Like, don't, there's other stuff. I'm not going to tell you what yet. It's like, it's this immediate feeling of like your body saying like, you should have stuff to worry about. Actually, don't you remember that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And,
like a moment of joy, and then you're like, hey, but how about this thing right here?
Yeah.
It's like a little voice in the back of your head. And you're like, shut up. I'm trying
and
to
I don't
just
know
enjoy
what
this.
it is where things will stick in my head where it's like, Oh yeah, The Lion King with my sister when I was younger, and I vividly remember the entire room, how it was laid out, what we were doing. We were watching Lion King on her little pink Barbie TV, and I remember having this discussion with her, and which is so weird because she was like maybe 4, like she had no clue what I was talking about. But I'm like, no, I was starting to realize, no, if you really think about a moment and you like get it like dug into your mind. And I was like, watch this. I was like, you'll remember this forever. We're watching The Lion King. The sun is coming through the blinds right there. Your TV is pink. You're sitting in a chair. You're wearing a blue silk dress. Like, I remember saying a variation of those things. And even though I've lost some of the details, of course, because I was really young, that is one of the more vivid memories in my mind of anytime I think of like The Lion King or whatever, I have to think, my brain has to think about that moment. Mm-hmm. And so it does work in like positive ways too. But yeah, anytime, to draw it back to what I was saying, I feel like I have this bad ability of like going to a theme park and being like, I gotta work tomorrow. You know, that like the oppressive feeling of like, oh, this isn't, it's a constant reminder that like no escapism is a true escape. Like you're only here temporarily. And my brain continues to remind me of that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm doing okay. Like I'm hanging in there. We're marching forward.
It reminded me that this morning you came in the kitchen and I don't remember what I was doing. Maybe I was trying to like just watch something on my phone or whatever, but I was actively doing something. And so I couldn't immediately give you my attention. So in order for you to like wait for me to give you the attention, you started moving. You went to put I bought a cookie cake for Easter and you went to put the lid on it, but you didn't actually
I saw the lid was like not quite on it. And so while I was talking to you, I went to
you just straightened it. You didn't, but then you didn't secure the lid. Yeah. And I was like, hey, put the lid all the way on. Why even move it to straighten it up if you don't then just like click it shut? Mm-hmm. And you were like, oh no, I think a lot of times when I'm just like talking or I'm waiting to talk to you, I'll just like tinker. Like I'll just like touch
I notice that all the time when I am unsettled, if I'm nervous or I'm waiting, or it's like, I know I have to leave in like say half hour or an hour. Like I can't just sit down and just whatever. I have to like just kind of mosey around and like, just like the pencil is 45. I got to make it a straight 90, you know, or the Coke can is sitting here on the counter. I'm just going to pick it up and then just move it to this part of the counter. It's subconscious. I don't even.
Well, and like, it's really funny too, because sometimes it just gives like 8-year-old energy.
100%. I know that. That's why it's embarrassing.
Like I went into the bathroom right before this to brush my teeth because I felt like we had something with a lot of basil in it, and I've just had like so much basil in my teeth. But also to like put makeup on because I didn't have any makeup on at all. And I don't wear a lot, but if I don't put mascara on before these recordings, I truly, truly, truly look dead. Me too. I have been. I'm really tired also. I think I'm not sleeping well for a reason that we will touch on in a moment. But so I'm putting on this mascara, and I wear the mascara that's like tubal, I think is what it's called, but it's like a white layer and then a black layer. And I wear it because my fucking eye bags are so big and puffy and tired most of the time that if I wear regular mascara, it will like bleed on my under eye. So I have to wear this other stuff because it doesn't do that. But anyway, and so I'm like, I have one eye with the white part on and I'm doing the other eye with the white part. And for girls that know, or people that wear mascara that know, like you can't then stop. Like you have to put the white on and then immediately put the black on. Mm-hmm. And you come in fucking arm at the ready to show me a video. And I'm like, bro, I can't stop what I'm doing. And you're like, okay, that's fine. Yeah. But then I was just going to wait. No, but then you stared at me the whole time while you were waiting for me to do it. It truly is that like that little kid where you're like, okay, I know I gotta wait. But then you just stare at me.
I wasn't staring at you. I wasn't staring at you
It's
of
not
like,
like-
hey, come on. I was
No,
staring at
you-
you in genuine, like, I'm just going to watch how she applies this.
No, that's not what it feels, because you do it if I'm doing something else in the kitchen too. And you
that's
come
what
in
it
and you want to
was
show me
tonight, for
something.
sure.
It's like you don't know what to do with yourself when you're waiting for me, and you know it's not going to be a long time. It's going to be like 90 seconds. You don't know what else to do other than to stand there, phone at the ready. You didn't even put it down, phone at the ready, and then you just stared at me. I'm like, I can't do this any faster. And you're like, no, I'm not in a hurry.
No, it's fine.
And I'm like, but it feels like a hurry because you're staring at me. Like, just go back off.
All right.
And then by the time it was like, then you were like, well, now I feel stupid. The video wasn't even that. I was like, no,
worth it.
no, show it to me.
We do it all the time. Like, let's set the stage first. You and I both will, like, me more than you, of course, but when I find something extra funny, more often than not, I will send them to you in a series of like, hey, you just got 8 or 10 of these, right?
Yeah.
Because I've, spent the last hour just scrolling. Mm-hmm. But when we're just kind of around the house together, I'll get up, I'll come to you and I'll be like, check this one out. I don't know. It's just a fun thing we do. And,
But what's really funny now too is like, I don't do Facebook Messenger like hardly at all, but Logan will send videos sometimes through there, and I'll purposely let him bank like 6, 7, 8 of them. And then I'll sit down and go to watch them. And you're like, oh, you haven't watched any of those? And then here you come scurrying over to sit next to me and watch all these videos all over again.
I have to see your response.
And it's almost like I can't even watch them now. Whenever you immediately send them, I have to let them bank up because you get so excited to sit and watch them with me.
What do you think that is? Because it
But it feels
absolutely
like you're not just watching the video, you're also watching the video and watching me.
That's what I was getting ready to
it's
touch on. I was like, what do you think that is? Because I remember that feeling from a very young, I don't think I'm like imposing with it, but from a very young age, I remember there is a certain level of enjoyment I get out of watching films, particularly if they're films that I've seen, that I was like wanting to show a friend or my dad or whoever. And there is this like side eye where you're watching the film and then you'd give it a look over, like, you think? You like it? And so, yeah, it's
That's where I get in trouble sometimes because you side eye look over at me and I'm on my phone and you're like,
you fucking missed it. What? I'm gonna rewind it, and then I rewind it and I watch it again, thinking like, "There's no way she's not gonna watch." And I like, and then look at what the fuck?
Yeah, I was like, Logan, leave me alone. Yeah,
No, I wonder what that is because
I don't know, but I feel
that.
like you take it a lot more seriously than I do. So I don't know if it's a personality difference or if it's just that little kid in you that is like, hey, look at this. Look at how cute this is. Look at how funny this is. Look how gross this
I don't know.
is.
I wonder if it's a reflection of it's a pure look at. I think when you when you could truly see what makes someone belly laugh, I think that is one of the deepest peers into someone's soul that you can actually do. And so when I share funny shit with you, it's because I feel comfortable with you, and I know you think a lot of the shit is stupid that I show you, but it's the same. Were we talking about that Rick Rubin concept of like the diary entry on here? It's like any art that you make or consume is like, it's more of a diary entry. So it's like raw, whatever. And I feel like anytime if you look at my social media, actually, and I don't know if this is a point that you've ever really noticed or not, look on my like actual feed or my timeline. It is very rare that you'll find I repost videos. It's usually my own content. It's pictures of my family, my art, my music, or whatever.
Oh, yeah. On Facebook, I almost feel like, I don't know. There's a part of me that almost wonders if that's a generational thing, though, because I don't ever like share stuff either.
Yeah, because my worry is, I don't want people to take it out of context. I will share privately, like with my friends. Well, I used to. I don't have friends that do that anymore. It's you. But yeah, probably because you have the inside lane. You know exactly where it's coming from, what the context is, whatever. You just blatantly share out a video that, like, people will be like, what does he think is funny? You know,
Yeah.
like, no. You have to understand that's based on this like inside thing, you know, or whatever.
Yeah.
So
I just
I
think
don't know. I feel like it's a peek into a vulnerable part of yourself. What you find funny.
I think where you and I differ on it, though, because I send you stuff that I think is funny too. There's a part of me
the
that
last thing you sent me.
probably like a fart. The Guess My Fart.
I love
Dude,
that. What
those
are you talking
videos
about?
are hysterical. But no, I want you to watch it alone first, because if you don't think it's as funny as I do, I don't want to watch you not react to it. Sometimes you'll watch me not react to shit, and I can tell that you're like, what the fuck? But
Dude, I'm married.
but you're always willing to like roll the dice. You always want to know if I'm laughing or not. I send you things specifically when you're like at work or something, so that you can see it. And if you think it's funny, we'll like haha about it later.
Yeah.
But dude, the Guess My Fart videos, those kill every time for me. Those are so funny.
Yeah, we do it every now and again. You'll do
Or
it to
you
me.
guess mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. You don't fart often enough to play.
Not yeah. And when I do, I won't get to it. I was about to. I forgot we were actually talking into the microphones for a second. Yeah, not very often. Not that I'm embarrassed at all. Man, God, I'd love to. I'd love to be able to like have battles with you on the regs. But it's just like I show up on a donkey, you're on a steed. The battle is just not fair, literally ever.
I know. I also am like, right now, this is a lot to share, but I think that my body's just like still finally like readjusting to not being on the Ozempic, which like really fucked me up for a while. And I'm just still like really trying to come back from that. But like, I don't even want to be around me. Like, it's not funny. It's not like, haha. It's embarrassing what's happening to me right now. And the way that
now that you say that, there definitely have been several more than usual moments over the last
where it's like,
weeks.
get the fuck out of here. Like
yesterday alone, it was like right before. Was it right before we started doing the eggs? But whatever, it was like the whole half of the house. It's like, damn, girl, like.
I'm back on some vitamins. Okay, I'm trying to like restabilize, but like, God, bro, help.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Well, happy that you're finding moments of joy in that, I guess. And then otherwise just doing all right. Hanging in there.
Yeah.
Hopefully the weather is just going to keep getting nicer.
Yeah.
And
I'm trying to do.
We can get out of that.
Excuse me. I'm trying to do more like my own art.
Yeah. Trying to find other ways to like kind of, I don't want to say comfort yourself, but like, I feel like painting for you is almost like a self-soothing activity too.
Yeah,
where
it's a thumb suck.
A thumb suck.
Yes. Oh, that's a lot. I mean, technically, that's not dead air. But yeah, no.
What?
As I said that, I wasn't sure if that was like a colloquialism that was like real, but it makes sense, right? It's a thing to pacify you in moments of stress. So sorry.
It's gonna take me a minute.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yes, I like to paint because it makes me feel good. Can we use this? Okay.
I'm trying.
No.
I don't understand why you.
Man, I caught you out of left field, didn't I? Wow.
Okay. Yeah, talk about it. Talk about what you're doing with your paintings.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh my God.
just sit there painting, sucking my thumb. No, I'm trying to find, just time to stand at the easel and explore some, I don't know, just different techniques that I've always been all over the map as far as like realism, impressionism. I've been playing with just like shapes and colors. Stop it.
I'm trying so hard.
So yeah, just like trying to figure out if I have like a style I want to try to hone in on, or if I want to just be the guy who never really has a style and has just a bunch of styles, or what it is. But yeah, I'm just trying to make more pieces that I would consider good to look at. I think that's the test. I was talking to you the other day about like, you get actually pretty upset with me about how I haven't even like put any of my stuff online yet, ever, to sell. And part of that is, well, I've always been just so damn busy to like ever actually sit down and curate anything or spend any time on anything of note. And when I have a few pieces, like your dad in there, like that was a fun, but like that was my first real 50-hour piece when it came to like a portrait realism thing, and it's still not even done. That's been fucking 8 years since I probably worked on that piece. And so then it's just hard to find the time to really dedicate and have like things that I would like say, yeah, I'm going to put a stamp, I'm going to put a thumbprint, put my name on that. Like that is mine. And I would put that on a wall and have anybody look at it. Again, back to the Rick Rubin thing, like it's a diary entry and you're having people read. I know it sounds like real cheesy to say it that way, but it really is. It's like, of all the things I can do and am capable of, this is the thing I'm deciding to show you. You know, there's a million different paintings I could do. I could decide to go down that avenue, this me. I can go sculpting or whatever it is. And I'd probably be pretty all right at it because I feel like I've been pretty good within the creative arts just in general. But when I'm creating like a big piece, especially the ones that I make that don't to anybody, it's just shapes, it's colors, and it's like lines and blobs, but there's a method to it, I guess, for me. And my test is, can I hang it above my mantle and lay down and watch TV and then stare up at it and then just lose a minute just looking at it, and then come back to TV and then come back to it later? And can I find myself continuing to lose time in this thing? If it's a minute here, a minute there, 5 minutes, sometime, whatever, and I could continue to do that, then that, to me, that it like passes a test of like, well, then yeah, this would be something I would keep up at my home and have anybody see in my space as like, this is something that I made and I'm proud of, you know? I think the thing I worry about with my stuff too is like, yeah, like people, I don't get it. It's just, I could do that, you know? Like, I feel like a lot of the stuff that I've been making here, like the quote unquote, like fine art stuff or whatever, has been stuff like that where people would say like, oh, my fucking niece could do that.
Well, I mean, you've said that to me so many times where it's like, well, yeah, but it's like abstract. It's just shapes, you know, it's like, but it's like,
yeah, I don't take it too seriously, but my worry is that other people would think I take myself seriously.
Yeah, but like people also didn't take fucking, like, I was going to say Picasso, and I don't want you to be like, oh no, Picasso, but that's not the point. It's like, people didn't take that seriously either. Or like the guy that did like what's the artist that's like known for like the splatter paintings?
Pollock?
Sure. So like, I'm sure that there were a lot of people that looked at Pollock's stuff when he first started doing it and was like, that you're literally just throwing paint. Yeah. Like anybody can do that. But it's like, well, then do it.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, if you want to do it, then do it. But I think like for me, I feel frustrated when it's like, okay, well, the last series you did, which was really the first series that you've done, where you did like 5 or 6 pieces, you were like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take the time to do it because I really like it. And I'll hang them up on the wall and then I'll just put them online. And if they sell, they sell. And if they don't, we'll just leave them on the wall because we like them. And I'm like, okay, great. Love it. I love them. So I think they would sell, but if they don't, fine, whatever. And then you never put them up. And I know that you didn't put them up because there is that part of you that is worried that like, well, nobody would buy them but then like also if nobody buys them, it's like an ego hit.
Yeah.
But like, that doesn't make sense to me that you would feel like that when like you're such a creative person that you've like made up until very recently when you started producing the shows, you made your whole income off of your artistic ability with what you did in a merch store. And then before that, you printed t-shirts, but you also, most of the time when you printed those shirts, you were the person that designed that thing also. So it's like, you've already made a living selling your art in other ways.
Yeah. Just different venue.
But you also were in a band and you guys would like go around to these shows. And some of the shows were like very small and had like, you know, less than 50 people at them. And then other shows were bigger and had a few hundred people at them. And it was like, but you did it regardless because you just liked doing it. It was fun. You went with your friends. You guys didn't make any money, but you made enough money to like go to the next show or whatever. But it's like,
yeah,
I think that you just have this thing in you where I remember when you first put up pictures of this last series that you did and you made a comment, either in a comment or in the actual caption of the piece where you basically said something about how like, it's not, you know, it's just shapes. It's not anything. And it's like, you're already trying to say the hurtful thing that somebody could say to you. But you're like discounting your own work. And it's like, yeah, I can also draw circles and squares, but like,
I feel
nothing
like what
that
makes those, like, if you do go back to those people, you brought up Picasso, dude, that dude had an ego, like, to serve that kind, or like, okay, Kazimir Malevich, that's one of my favorite, like going back to that style of like, okay, a big red square and then a yellow circle over, and then just like basically shapes and how they interact with each other in color fields, whatever.
Yeah.
That dude, oh shit, what was the point I was trying to make? Anyway.
Well, you said that Picasso had a big ego. So like, did that guy have a big ego too? Or like, what do you, because like that guy is your favorite artist. Like
one of them. Yeah.
Of all of the artists out there, like that guy is of note to you and he's doing the same thing that you originally said when you put this stuff up, which was, well, it's just shapes, you know, but it's like, no, but it's not just shapes. And when I look at you while you're painting, because you're doing new stuff now, it's like, I see that it's shapes and it's bright colors, but like it does, some of these things that I'm seeing you do, the choices that I'm seeing you make with this stuff, because I know you and I know your headspace, it's like, it makes sense to me. And I think that like, that's where art's kind of cool, where to some people it might just be shapes, but to other people it's like, well, look at all of those. I'm thinking of the big piece you just hung over the fireplace, but it's like, yeah, these are all bright and beautiful. Like these are bright colors and all these shapes, but then like you also have kind of this like jagged black around the edge. Uh-huh. And like, that means something to me that maybe other people it wouldn't mean something to, but like, that's the whole point of it. And so then to just kind of like immediately discount all of it by saying like, well, it's just shapes and it's just colors. I don't have a lot of like blending going on. It's just flat. It's like, you're taking away from what it actually is.
I know. And I think that's just like
so you should sell it. You should put it online.
Personal ego of like, when people look at that, my instant reaction would be like, I'm glad you like that. That is cool. That's like one of my cool things. But like, you should see like my realism paint or whatever. And it's like, I don't know. It's just, I've always just done a bunch of different stuff. And I am envious of people who have like a thing. Like this person does frogs in everything they do, you know, or whatever it is. Or they have a signature style that lasts for decades because they use the same, color palette, or they use the same foundations in their paint. Like, okay, every painting will have like hard lines that are taped off and, spray paint or whatever it is. Like they have a formula almost. And I just get bored with formulas. And I think that doesn't work in my favor, because then I can't develop a style that people look at and say, that's me.
Yeah, but I think you're trying to put the cart before the horse.
I know.
You could just put it up though, and people might like it. And this might be,
and that's what
this might be a style you want to paint in forever, because it is giving you it is soothing you currently.
It is, yeah.
Or maybe later on in 5 or 6 years, you dive back into the more realistic stuff, or maybe I don't know, maybe at some point we move to some like beautiful place and you get really caught up in like landscapes and you want to do that, which, I mean, we already live in a beautiful place for that. But like, I think that acting, yeah, it's great that those people have their thing, and that's great. I think that could be so similar to people that are like certain from the age of 6 that they want to be a doctor, and that never changes for them, and they go to school and they become a doctor, and then they become one of the best doctors, and like they're so happy with the fact that they're a doctor. And then there's people like me who it's like, I could probably do a handful of different things if I want. I could be a doctor. Like, let's back up for a hot sec. But like,
I absolutely think you could.
I don't.
You have the study mentality, like what it would take to like study and go through.
I could pass the test to be a doctor. I would not ever want to actually be a doctor on somebody.
Oh, I got you.
But
yeah.
But like, or maybe that's not the right, but it's like some people are really good at lots of things. I don't think I'm really good at lots of things. I think I'm like adequate at a lot of things. But like, some people just have more that they feel really good about. You know what I mean? So it's like, but I mean, even if you take somebody like Jim Carrey, pops into my head. He was comedian, actor, but then like got very involved in painting, and he's like, and like, you can be more than one thing. You can have more than one style within your art, or maybe you're truly just meant to be someone that's like a jack of all trades. You know what I mean? I don't think that makes you like less valuable as an artist because you aren't dedicated to one thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've been pushing you for years though to just do it.
Yeah.
Because I hate that, like, our house is only so big. We can only hang up so many pieces. And so then a lot of times your shit just gets kind of like put in stacks. And then it's like, well, then now nobody's seeing it. Nobody gets to enjoy it. And I think that's like a bummer too. Because a lot of times at a certain point, you'll pick up something and you'll repaint over it with something else. And I'm like, well, now that thing doesn't even get to exist anymore. And that's a bummer.
I know.
So fucking cut the shit and just put some stuff up. And if it sells, that's great and cool. And you can really pursue what that looks like to be an artist like that. Or we keep it at the house and we just keep doing it because that's what we like to do around here too.
Well, I'm going to start trying. I'm not going to do, because I know I've been doing a lot of the ones I've been hanging upstairs have been those framed ones that I had, like the ones with the brown wooden frame around. But I have a lot of different ideas about using other mediums, other things that are fun to paint on. And I'm just going to try to do that for a little bit and see what happens, I guess. And yeah, I don't want to, my problem about throwing anything up is I don't want to throw just like, I have 2 things available. Like, I would like to have at least a handful.
You literally have 10 things you could list right now.
Okay. We'll go through them and see.
I'm glad that you have something though to take your mind off of whatever part of adulthood is troubling you in that moment. Because I'm troubled right now, and I feel like I do not have an appropriate outlet for it. So, I talked about it on the bonus episode, so I don't want to get into too much of like the specifics with it. But in general, I am having a hard time with my parents right now. and that's a bummer. And I saw this video where it basically said, I don't want to have a casual conversation with someone that I think owes me an apology. Like, I just don't want to do it anymore. And I think, I have been voicing that to my sister of like, hey, I don't know how to do this anymore. Continuing to kind of let certain stuff slide or go, or enough time passes and then it never gets talked about, because like I've said on this podcast lots of times, I want to have the conversation. If I'm not understanding, help me understand. But if you're not understanding and I'm trying to help you understand and you're very just like unwilling, then I don't want to continue to have like a casual conversation with you in a few days when it's like, no, I like deserve an apology on that. Or I deserve some kind of like recognition that situation wasn't handled right, or like anything. I need something and I don't want to do it anymore. And kind of like on the bonus episode, we talked about how I'm just trying to like come to terms with that and like what that means moving forward. But then I got a phone call from my sister today, and she was talking about how, we have this trip coming up to go back home for a bit. It's from the trip we were supposed to take in January that we had to postpone because of a work thing for you. And so we're going to be in Indiana for a smaller trip than typical. Standard trip for us there is 10 to 14 days because it's expensive. It's a lot to buy 5 tickets to fly there. And I hate flying. So, but we're actually only going to be in town for 7 days this next time. And we're going to go to a Toto concert, which I'm excited for and all that. But I also know, and my sister is going to come home because we haven't seen her since Christmas and she wants to see us and the kids. And it's also her birthday, like a big birthday for her. So she's going to come home so we can all like be together for that.
She'll be 64, right?
Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And she called me because it's like, hey, like I know that we're going to have this conversation with mom and dad. And like, I think that's partly why I'm just not sleeping well right now. Like, and my sister, who is somebody that typically can sleep at the fucking, like, snap your fingers and she's gone already. Like, that girl, if she can't do anything, she can fucking sleep. But even she is like, I'm so exhausted. I'm not sleeping. And I'm just like super nervous about it. And she called because she basically was like, I just want, I don't think any of us are great at apologizing, which I think also is like probably just pretty standard for humans, unless there's someone out there that like just loves to apologize. Mm-hmm. It's like, we're willing to apologize. I am happy to apologize if I know I handled something wrong, or if you bring it to me and I'm like, fuck yeah, that wasn't right or whatever. Like, I'm fine to do it. But am I looking for a reason that I should have to apologize? Typically, no. Typically, I'm not. And sometimes my sister will tell me things and it's like, oh, I can tell she wants me to apologize. And I'm either like too mad or I really don't agree and I can't like bring myself to do it. But she essentially was like, I don't want our relationship to ever be hurt because we feel like one of us needs an apology that we haven't gotten. And then she apologized for a couple of things that happened years ago. I haven't even thought about them in forever. But she was like, but if the way I handled those situations caused you to not want to like, or almost that caused you to like not trust me to handle other things, right? Other conversations or other scenarios, like I need to apologize to you because I didn't handle those things right. And I don't want that to like spill over into our relationship now. And it meant a lot because again, like the couple of things that we really talked about were like on the surface, probably really silly little arguments, but like I think that I am somebody that can be really, really hurt by someone, and I'll let it go for a long time. And then I get to a place where I'm just like, fuck this. I'm so over it. I'm so done. I don't want to do it anymore. But like, even in the same way that I've spoken about like friendships on this, that where these people have really hurt me, in the back of my mind, I'm like, dude, if they would just say they're sorry, I could move forward. Like, would I still want to be besties with you? Probably not. But also like, maybe, you know, like a lot of times I am itching to find the good in somebody. I'm itching for you to show me that you're not actually awful. So like, can you please say you're sorry? Can you just like, tell me you're not going to fucking do that again? Can you give me something here? And I think a really honest example of that in our relationship is like, you know, your mom and I had a really hard relationship for the first like 12 years of it. And that was really sad. I felt really sad about it, but also just very like, I don't know anything else from this from this relationship other than like my feelings getting hurt. So I also am like hypersensitive towards the end. It was like, there were certain times where it felt like your mom probably couldn't have breathed around me without me thinking like, is she fucking huffing at me? You know, like whether she was or wasn't, it had just gotten to this place where it's like, gosh, this is like hard. And I don't want it to be hard anymore. And like, we communicated that. I communicated that with her. And then we took a break. And I thought truly, surely, like, I will never speak to this woman again. Like, I'm not going to give her the space to hurt me anymore. I don't want to do it. And I'm sure she doesn't want to talk to me anymore. Like, because all we're doing is arguing, or having hurt feelings and not talking about it. But then one day, like, she did. Like, she came to the table and apologized, and I apologized. And like, I really thought I would not want to have a relationship with her forever. And I really was worried about what that would look like for you and for the kids and for me, and almost if it would even work. Like, can we even have a relationship, me and you, if like I'm just at it with your mom all the time? And like, from that moment of her apologizing and us being able to like just sit down and have a conversation where we didn't come at it with this like place of anger or blame or who was wrong or whatever, it was like, that was such a freeing conversation for me. And now, like, I would love to have a closer relationship with your mom. I think that the distance is hard. I think when you have kind of a strained relationship with someone for so long, it just takes time to like get to that place of real comfort. But like, I also do know that if I needed your mom for something, I could call her and she would like, without question, be there, you know? And like, I just didn't think I would ever have that with her. And so it's like, thinking about how healing those apologies can be, I just don't know like why some people feel like they just can't give it, or they don't want to give it, or it's like worth continuing to hurt someone because you're not willing to say you're sorry, whether you agree with it or not. There have been a handful of times where I've had to give out apologies, especially like even to our kids, where I've like apologized to our kids, and it's like, in that moment, I do not want to be apologizing. I'm so irritated with you. But like, you deserve the apology from me because I didn't handle that right. Or there have been times where my sister has said like, hey, the way that you said this like really hurt me, or this thing that you said, or this joke you made really hurt my feelings. And I'm thinking, oh God, dude, I was just kidding. But like, if I hurt you, I'm so sorry. Like, I think that people forget how like healing that can be, and and it's not hard. Like, it's not hard to say you're sorry to somebody. But I don't think I'm going to get that. And so and then like just not knowing what's going to come after that. I think.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to button all of that up, you know?
Okay. You don't have to.
But
I mean, it's still like, it's a current thing. So there's no,
yeah.
I have to end a chapter that isn't ready to end yet. You know what I mean?
Or like even your experience with your brother. Like, you guys didn't talk because it was hard. And it was like you wanted this thing from him that you realistically had kind of realized, well, I've never actually gotten this from him. And I really, truly did not think you would ever have a relationship with your brother. And I thought really the best thing for you was to just cut it. Like, stop giving somebody the power to hurt you when they're not sorry they're doing it. They don't seem to be sorry they're doing it. They're not saying they're sorry for doing it. They're not changing the behavior. So like, why continue to let that person hurt you? Like, what are you getting from it? But it really took that, like, that break with that relationship. But then, like, I remember the first time that you had a conversation with your brother and you came back in and you guys have been on the phone forever. But you had, like, also talked to your nephew. I don't know if all of them got on the phone or just the oldest, but like, I just remember when you came back in from that, me thinking like, God, this could, like, it could work. It could, like, I don't know if it will. I fucking hope. I hope that it works out. But like, your brother, like, taking that, like, taking the time to really think about it. And then, I mean, you really held, like, you had your foot down. Like, I'm taking the break from you. I need to know what it's like to not have you in my life, to know that you can't hurt my feelings anymore. I need to know what that is.
Yeah, it was a couple, like 2 years, right? Was it 2.5 years, maybe?
It was a lengthy amount of time.
Something like that.
But like, once it felt like he took some accountability for it and like was sorry that he hadn't been what you wanted him to be, like, is your relationship what you always dreamed of now? No. But it's so much better than it was. And it's just like, sometimes I wish that people were able to get to that without having to like set those like hard, I mean, like, no contact boundaries. Like, how do you even do that?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'd be struggling right now with it. So fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Y'all, fuck. I don't know.
We'll be all right.
I need you to talk because I need to sniff a lot. So
Okay.
just fucking say something.
Well, we're getting towards the end here. We'll probably wrap it up. I posted on Patreon about something we wanted to maybe try for the next, like, little stretch here. Let's try it out and see if you guys like it. Is to come to these episodes with under the banner of having watched a movie from our childhood throughout the week at some point.
A movie or a show.
Or a show, yeah,
right?
Sure, whatever. No, like, real hard rules on it other than how did this touch us in some way or another as a kid?
Yeah. And it kind of came off of the back of, like, the little bit that we talked about Seventh Heaven last week, where it's like, hey, this show on the surface is, like, cringy and whatever, but also, like, looking at it deeper now, it's like, man, like, did this shape me in this kind of way? And I think, like, most millennial women will find that, like, a lot of the shows for us put a lot of, like, toxic thoughts in our heads when it came to, like, what our bodies are supposed to look like or how we're supposed to act. And so we wanted to talk about that media specifically, but then also stuff that we feel like maybe did the opposite, where, like, we were talking about School of Rock, which we'll talk more in depth on, I'm sure, at a certain point, because you love that fucking movie so much. But that movie really hit a lot of, like, really powerful things that we didn't even really think about at the time.
Yeah.
And even a very easy one to count on that right off the jump is like the amount of representation in that movie.
Yeah, I was just saying that the other day when I was talking because I'm making a list on the phone. I was like, oh, I should definitely add that one.
Yeah.
And it'll be one of the early ones we do, I'm sure, if it's not the first, because I know you've seen it
I have watched that
times.
Oh my God. Dude, you were so obsessed. You still are obsessed with that movie so much.
Well, I think it's such a great there's such a nugget of like heart in that movie.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely 100% was a depression movie for me of like getting me what I would do. We'll get more into it, obviously when we watch it, but that was one of the movies for me, especially in middle school. And I would say early high school too, for a solid 2 or 3 years. I would put it on at night when I went to bed. And sometimes I would like, it's like I had the chapters memorized, so I knew exactly where in the movie I wanted to like pick up, and I'd be like, I'm gonna go to chapter 7 because that would make me feel better to go to sleep with this chapter. I don't want to start at the beginning and get through like I know, and you go through the movie real quick. You're like, no, I'm gonna pick up here.
Yeah,
and then the next night it might be chapter 10 or whatever. But I literally would do that every night with that movie for years. But yeah, when I was reminiscing with you about it, it kind of clicked for me. I was like, oh yeah, there's like, they did well at representing little kids who need the representation. There's obviously the different ethnic representations. There's body positivity talked about in the movie. There's just inclusion like all around. You got Fancy Pants, the stylist. You've got Freddie, who is the kid who like nobody ever really counts on at all, but it gives him a chance to like, no, just you need to just bang on some shit, so you'll be the drum.
Yeah. It's
just a sweet, touching story, and it's a well-written movie. It's a well-written story. Yeah, I mean, it's Mike White.
Yeah.
Who did what's the HBO series?
White Lotus.
White Lotus. Yeah. Which
so
isn't
good.
that weird? Like
Dude,
to think it's like
good.
the same person.
God, it's so good.
And then obviously Jack Black.
I was listening to something else where they were talking about Mike White and the fact that he was on a season of Survivor, and how a lot of people, it's like they watched Survivor to see him on it because it was like, wait, he's like a fucking famous person. What's he doing on there?
And you look, I mean,
but
he's
like,
Mr. Schneebly, like the real one in School of Rock. For anybody who doesn't know,
but he's like on Survivor, which again, I'm like such a fucking Survivor fan, but dude, he truly just is like a gem of a person. Like
you can tell
he's a good dude, and like, but also willing to like be like, hey, that wasn't really the right thing to say, or that guy's like not that guy in it. You know what I mean? Like he's just a good guy.
Yeah,
good guy, makes good content.
Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna go through some movies and film that we're gonna try to pick a night in the week to sit down and watch through with like a lens of, I'm going to just have my phone off to the side, just take a couple notes as we go through and see if like, I'm going to just, watch it through a BYC lens.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you guys have anything that you think we should watch, we put up a post in the group. We'll put up another one to kind of see what people think, and then
share it in the Facebook group or whatever. And,
or if it's easier for you to like write out a movie or a show that really hit for you, and why, and a deeper lens, you can send that to mylife@brokennouthclub.com. It's funny, when you were talking about School of Rock, I started thinking about the fact that like I was super, super obsessed with Legally Blonde when it first came out. And on the surface, that might just seem like, yeah, of course, that's like a very like girly movie, whatever. But since I saw that movie, if I was going to say I was really drawn to one profession, like lawyer would be the one. I've debated back and forth even now whether or not I should go to law school and be a lawyer. And not just because of that movie. I think there's a lot of parts of me that are like, that could be a good lawyer.
Thanks, Reese.
But it's funny because while you were talking about that being like a depression movie for you, or like picking certain parts of it that you would want to watch. It's like, I think part of what drew me to that movie so much was that, like, you know, people thought that like Elle was just like a dumb blonde. Like, she was just stupid. And I wasn't blonde, or like, I didn't have rich parents or any of the other things about her. But it's like, no, people thought for sure she was stupid.
Yeah.
And she really showed that she wasn't. And I have like so desperately for so long felt really stupid. And I just like want people to know that like I'm not stupid. You know what I mean?
Hey,
like that hits for me.
You're not stupid.
In a way that like I didn't even really think about until you were talking about it. And I was like, oh no. Do I even actually want to be a lawyer, or do I just not want my dad to think I'm stupid? Like, what is it? But yeah, oh my God, we have to be done. We have to leave. Okay, if you have a story, I already shouted out the email for that. If you are not part of the Facebook group, please get in there, because we'll want to know what movies or shows hit for you as a kid, so that we can re-look into those, and we'll talk about those the next few episodes. Also,
and sorry, we'll put up a post either tomorrow or Tuesday, probably, or what is today? Today's Monday. Either Tuesday or Wednesday, about what choice we make, and we'll probably try to watch it Thursday, maybe.
Yes.
Try to get it in our brains.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
And then bonus content on Patreon. If anybody's not in that yet and interested in it, it's just $5 a month, and you'll get the bonus episode. And then last thing, wanted to make sure we mentioned before we got off today, way while back, when was that? Like November? Mm-hmm. We had my sister on, and we talked about how her and I were going to start a podcast. We are starting it. We have already recorded the first episode. We are almost sure it's going to drop this week. So if you're interested in that, it's called The Adventure Club on Instagram. It's The Adventure Club Podcast. So if you want to check that out, you can go follow us. We will put up on there when we are for sure dropping that episode. But like I said, I'm pretty sure it's going to be this week. And yeah. Do
you want to give us a quick little elevator pitch on it? It's similar, you know, if you like this show, I'm sure you'll like that one too.
Yeah. So essentially my sister is a producer, and she's worked with like every famous person you could imagine, whether it was on like a music she was very heavy in the music video scene for a while, commercials, festivals, like award shows.
Oh yeah.
Like she has, and essentially it was like that. Is it 7 degrees to Kevin Bacon or something?
Something like that, yeah.
So anyway, essentially my sister was like, I think that at this point in my career, I am 6 or 7 steps away from like literally anyone you could think of. And how funny that she has built a career to get to that place. And so she wants to kind of, you know, we're from a very small town in Indiana. Nobody really thought that she would ever make a career like this. But she really credits where she's at to like all of the opportunities and the people that gave her a chance and the mentors. And so she wanted to create a space for that, for people where we'll be interviewing people to kind of get backstories on other people that are in the industry, the entertainment industry, but then also like the difference between her life and my life, and how I've always looked at her as having all of these adventures in her career, and she travels a lot. And she looks at my life as one giant adventure because I have all these kids, and I support my husband and his career, and I make a home. And so it's really just going to be a place for us to shine a light on all of the adventures that you have throughout life, and provide resources for people to like break into new industries if they want to do that. But yeah, it's just really going to be kind of a place to empower people and provide mentorship and like a safe space.
Yeah, I'm excited to see you guys do it. It'll be fun to have another show under the belt.
Yeah, just another place to shoot the shit.
Hell yeah.
And hopefully I will cry mostly on this show. And on that one, it'll be just a good time.
Yeah.
Good time.
Yeah, what kind of crying adventure are we going to be taking every week?
Good Lord. Please help me.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But I think that's it.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Bye.